welcome to the component uh, chapter component of React. So we will uh, chop this chapter into three parts. For now, it's gonna be quick and short. We will discuss components, the building blocks of a React application. I'll start with the metaphor. So, components is like a building blocks of the house. Uh, it's like a combination of this, uh, the bricks, the doors, the rooms that make up the house. So it's like uh, that's how we can better conceptualize the class the component of React. So there's two components of React. First is class component and second is function components. So it used to be that there's a smart and dumb components of React because function only used to represent structures, but now function can also be used to represent uh, it can also manage local state and the life cycle of the component. Array is defined outside the function because it's independent. So I'll provide an example, but before that, we will create first create React app. So remember the create React app that we are supposed to create in the previous video. So there's two ways to create that. First, using Vite, and then second is Next.js. So we will open a folder. We will create React app folder. Yes. Once you create a folder, we just need to click this view terminal and then copy and paste this command. Um, npm create byte at latest create one, and then it will create the footprint that allow us to uh, install the necessary libraries using Node. So in the next video, we will discuss Node, and then we just need to use our up and down arrow to get to React, and then for this example, we will choose JavaScript, and then uh, it will say now run cd create React one to get to that folder, and then npm install to install dependencies. And we will see the three directories that we've been mentioning in the previous chapters. So let's just wait. So this is an example of uh, a function component. So it is used more frequently than it separated this array is separated with um, the function list because this function is used more frequently than these arrays. So we define this first because they are independent of each other. These values is independent of this function, but they are in the same file or component. Later we will copy this and then we will paste it to our uh, React app. See, here's the folders. We have public src and the root folder that has package.json index, ESLint, gitignore, gidme. vite.config.js. These node modules, uh, this is the this is where all the dependencies files are stored. So when we use this npm install, all the files needed to create our app, such as this src public node, and then the root is in here, node underscore modules. So component function is called more frequently by React. It distinguishes function by an uppercase letter. We always define function by an uppercase letter in this language. This is you can think of it like a new language, like an English that has its own syntax. It has its own way of defining things. We will discuss that further in the next videos. Now we're done. We can now create list.js in this SRC. So this is the SRC that I'm talking about to in the previous video where we create uh, component tree. So this is where all most of our single page application logic. So I'll create list.js and then copy and paste and then hit save. Then when you do that, here's the app.js text that return the list. We just we need to copy this and then save it to our app.js. Remember the app.js x in the previous um, video. So let's try to open this and see if we can implement this. SRC app use state is the public. No, we need to and use this command npm random to run a server appropriate to run this code. So remember, this is JavaScript code, so we need a server for that. This Vite with React, simplify this by using this. It's loading, guys. So let's just wait. I see. So list.js, it should be actually JSX. So let's rename this. Uh, there you go, guys. So we just need to change it to JSX because we use JSX for React um, to create the component because JSX, remember, it can incorporate HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in one component or in one page. Here's the result of that of this code when we go to that uh, uh, server. It returns a GSX table, so we have discussed that. Key attributes are used internally by React to map each element. It can use these key attributes whether an element must be recreated. So one of the best way to understand the key attribute is like door ID. So in a house, in a room, there's a room ID. So that's just kind of a way to distinguish the house. So that's the key attribute that we see here in our logic. State, the local state of a component. The limitation is in the way React track changes to components and display them. So this is a static uh, application. So if we change this value, this won't change. So let's say we put Gareth and then save it. This won't change because React does not track changes that way. It tracks changes via state and props. Oh, it actually changed. Let's see what we did wrong here. Uh-huh. Because we're actually using Vite in this example. Vite automatically track changes, but by default, React does not do that. It doesn't change that um, uh, by default. To to change this, we need to import useState function. So this is a useState function. So let's create a useState here. Let's change this list. Let's change this entire function to a useState. So let's import this on the top. Import useState, and then this is the constant. The table, here's the table. Let's copy this entire table. And then export default list. There's an issue with number two. So let's remove this because we have defined that already. Hmm. So this is a new language. It's a bit complicated, but it's best we will be better understand it using a metaphor. So the concept is that this class component or this house or sorry this function component, it change via state. So it has a current state like the current setting of the light of this house, and then there is a new state where we define on this function. So the new state here, the set context. So if we want to change the state, we use this. But by default, the function component has an initial component or an initial light setting at the room of the house. So that's the basic idea, guys. We will provide more details on this, and then we will correct this. But yeah, we're almost done. The useState function allows you to define a local state or a component. This function accepts an initial value for the component state and returns an array. The first element of this array is an object that you can use for read access to component states. So you can use this. state to change the like the light setting of the house or the room of the house. And the function you receive as a secondary element enables you to change the state. So this function, the set contacts, we can define a function to manipulate the state. So and again, in React, we usually separate functions. Later, we will discuss that. In the next videos, we will discuss that as well. We separate functions to make our code more maintainable and easy to read. We import those functions. We usually import those functions just like any other programming language. So that's it, guys. Sorry, I have some voice issue right now, but we will keep getting better, like in the previous video. Uh, See you on the next video. And sorry, in the next video, we will discuss styling uh, using CSS in React. Yes. And then we will discuss, life cycle of a component, life cycle of component, and style using CSS in React. And then after that, we will discuss form and other features of this language. See you on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching.